Roger sent email earlier in the week, late last week, that he would not be in attendance today. As a conflict today.
You're talking about the mayor? No. Roger was here.
Yeah, Roger was here last week.
Oh, inside.
We did go through the authentication, you walked me through it
Okay,
today, so, we should be good there. I'm just wondering if these guys have the same deal.
Yeah, I just gotta keep doing it over and over and over like that.
The
okay,
authentication,
Yeah,
they tell you, have you put in a number,
every time.
a different number? The same? Okay,
Every
'cause I
time.
thought it'd be the same number.
No,
I tried.
every single time you log out and log in, you
Okay.
that was a different one.
I'll play with that when I get home. Well, hello, stranger. Good to see you in forever.
I will get them, the IT people off the email about that right now.
That's it. They're not gonna know. Well,
They won't be able to right now, but I'm letting you know to reach out to you to help with the authentication, so we can get.
I got mine figured out.
It did, okay.
It's just, it's tedious, but that's what everybody does now. You do it security or yes, and it's. It's like. Trying to games on the page. I got mine, it looked like it, and then I sent it, I didn't update.
All right, Annie, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. I will call this meeting to order, 7 p.m. meeting, regular meeting for the Mayville Common Council. Please take the roll.
Alderperson Olson,
Here.
Alderperson Newman,
Here.
Alderperson Schmidt,
Here.
Alderperson Tillman,
Here.
Alderperson Abbott,
Here.
and Alderperson Smith did email last week that he would be unavailable for today's meeting.
Okay. We have a quorum present. Thank you. Next item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 3, are there any citizen comments this evening? If you would please just stand up to the podium, introduce yourself and your address, please.
Yes.
And we'll limit comments to 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm wondering if Bill Linsenmeyer, 1122 Valley Street. This is regarding, a item coming up on a planning commission part, number 2. I'd like to comment at that point, if I can. Would that be okay?
Does anybody object to having Mr. Lindenmeyer speak during the planning commission portion? I think that'll be fine.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you. Are there any other citizen comments this evening? Seeing as there are none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Everybody has had the opportunity, I hope, to review everything in the consent agenda. So let me ask first, before we move on to pass the consent agenda, are there any topics listed on the 4 items that you wish to put on the regular agenda so the council can deliberate as needed? Okay, there are no requests, and therefore I'll take a motion to pass the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to pass the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. All in favor say aye. I must have, did you hear me say, okay, all right, so it passed, okay. I muted there for a moment, I'm sorry. All right, so consent agenda has passed, and now the report of the officers. I'll start. So my mayor's report is gonna be fairly brief tonight and focus primarily on financial matters of the city. First, Sikich has been actively engaged in working with City Hall to assist the city not only with day-to-day financial affairs, but also in the learning of our current processes and providing guidance on best practices going forward. Now, I'm pleased with the support that Sikich has been able to provide, and our monthly invoice recently received from Sikich came in at a number below Mayville's pay grade for the comptroller treasurer role. So it's an economical approach to solving our current issue. I want to again commend our department heads and city employees for their positive can-do attitude while we navigate this interim period. Kudos to our utility accountant, Nicole DeBaker, for her contributions in helping our city operate without a comptroller treasurer and being the main point of contact with Sikich. Also, kudos to our city clerk, Annie Gonstead, for demonstrating exceptional operational leadership and leading the charge in process improvement inside City Hall. Kudos as well to Deputy Clerk Christine Coulter for her work with HR and payroll, and Jackie Shanoski for her work with accounts payable and working with the community day to day as they visit City Hall. We're making significant operational improvements, not the least of which includes moving forward and cross-training our staff to help ensure coverage going forward so that we minimize disruption when someone is on vacation, for example. We have a fantastic group of people working for the city. It's imperative to call out the dedication demonstrated by each of our employees as they work to serve our community each day. We must be mindful of putting our employees in the best possible position to assure success while maintaining staff morale. Without question, operating without a comptroller treasurer has been challenging. The good news is that we've identified 2 candidates for the comptroller treasurer role, and the council will be interviewing them on both on July 24th. Should one or both impress the council, we may be able to proceed in extending an offer shortly thereafter. Budget season is upon us. At the end of the month, we'll likely be distributing information to the department heads, and in August, we'll begin the process in earnest. I'll be providing direction to the department heads in terms of how we wish to contain certain costs in the 2024 fiscal year so that we can begin working towards strategic fiscal planning in years following. We're focused on being proactive in managing the finances going forward while improving our audit performance year over year. With the new revenue sharing plan, also known as Act 19, I learned today that the city of Mayville will be receiving 25.5% more in state aid next year than years prior. And for 2024, that amounts to an increase of $199,243. And then on August 31st, last thing I'll report is that we'll be focused on having a cybersecurity audit conducted by a state and federal agency. So we'll know what kind of risk profile we're looking at from a cyber standpoint. And I'll be certain to make sure that those results are reported to the public. So thank you all. Enjoy the month of July. That's all I've got.
The cybersecurity audit, is that something that cities and villages normally do? Or is this
Yes.
because of, go ahead.
No, it is. It's a service that's provided by the Air National Guard and a state agency within the state of Wisconsin. And what it will do is they'll be doing some penetration testing. They'll be doing some vulnerability analysis and identify where and how the city should bolster its cyber defense. And then as needed, we'll look into certain grants and funding opportunities for us to improve our cybersecurity. Now, one step, and I got to give Annie a lot of credit for this, one step that we are taking is we're proceeding and working with the state to provide a .gov web address, and that's going to provide a number of advantages to the city as well. So nice work on that, Annie. Any other questions related to that, Kim?
No, that's,
Okay. The good news is that cybersecurity audit is at zero cost to the city. So it's just it's a service provided from the state and federal government for municipalities. So if there are no other questions, we'll move on to the clerk report.
All right, so this month my office has been working on cleanup and training. Earlier this month, I attended the Clerks, Treasurers, and Financial Officers Institute put on by the League of Wisconsin Municipality. This event had valuable training sessions and legal updates, as well as examples on various procedures from other municipalities. In particular, their elections update was very helpful. We're going to have a really busy election season there for this upcoming year. So they gave some ideas on what we can look at to kind of streamline processes, shore things up, make sure our records are up to date as much as they can be to keep everything moving really smoothly next year. Next week starts the Clerks Institute schooling that I've been waiting on since January. So I'm very excited. It's week-long virtual schooling. So I will be in-house, but unavailable next week because I will be in class pretty much from just before 8 till about 5:30 every day. Additionally, Christine Coulter has been working hard to clean up and put some order to the personnel files. With the anticipated Excel upgrade in August, it should streamline some of those payroll functions for her. We anticipate we'll be able to set forth some process and procedures to make onboarding and outboarding a little more consistent for employees throughout the city in the near future. Jackie has been tackling quite a bit of long neglected filing that had piled up in the back office. So we're trying to get all that cleaned up. So we have a good point for moving forward. Additionally, we have been working on streamlining processes to save time and make sure all departments are on the same page, as well as updating some of our permits and applications. If some of them are even available on the city website, such as the operator's license, we just kind of cleaned them up, put them all on the same letterhead, make sure they're a little more clear so they're more helpful and useful to the community. As John had referenced, I've also located a Wisconsin Elections Commission sub-grant that helps to move us from a .com over to a .gov. So it appears for the last few years, Wisconsin Elections Commission has been pushing really hard to have municipalities move to a .gov because of the added security. And in the near future, they may be making it mandatory. So while there is money on the table to cover the IT costs, it sounds like something my predecessor had started. It had got dropped along the way. But now that we can get most of the IT costs involved recouped, we are moving forward since it sounds like it's something you might be forcing us to do in the near future anyway. So that's what I have.
Very good.
Very nice. Thanks, Annie. Any other questions? Any questions of Annie? All right, nice work, Annie. Next section, committees, commissions, and boards. No report from Water and Wastewater Commission. The date and time of the next meeting will be Tuesday, August 1st at 4 p.m. Library Board, is Jennifer here tonight?
In preparation for the new move, we have completed going through papers that were stored in the basement and are now starting to box items we wish to take with us to the new building. Lucas is also working on digitizing the many VHS tapes we have of Mayville events in history. Regarding the exterior of the new building, stone has been brought in, the curb and gutter work have been completed, and paving will start next week. Landscaping will follow. Regarding the interior, the drywall is complete, the bathrooms have been tiled, and the cabinets have been installed. Painting is wrapping up and ceilings are going in now. The flooring has started and will be starting tomorrow. Also, the air handler arrived last week and will be installed in July. In regards to personnel activities and professional development, I was able to obtain 2 grants for continuing education with a total of $2,900 to have myself and 2 staff attend ALA, which is American Library Association and Conference in Chicago. This conference, which was attended by 15,000 people this year, not including the vendors and authors that attend, comes to Chicago only once every 3 to 4 years. I focused on issues of accessibility, outreach, legislation, and current events, and collection development. I was able to obtain at least 70 books to add to our collection, as well as a great number of books to be given as prizes for summer reading. With the grant money, Lucas attended the ALA conference and focused on keeping and cataloging historic records, cataloging board games and other items related to the Library of Things, creating game-focused programming that will attract teens and young adults, among other things. Jenny also attended the conference and focused on social media, marketing, accessibility, and teen programming. She also picked up a number of books in Spanish to add to her collection. Owen, who has held the page position since 2021, graduated from high school, and we wish him the very best in his next step in life. He will stay with us until the end of summer, and our new page is starting in July, or just started, which means both of our page positions are currently filled. These positions always go to high school juniors or seniors because we want to help provide opportunities for our youth to develop their college resumes and gain real work experience in an environment where the priority of their studies is recognized. They gain from our flexibility and we gain from their energy, spirit, and dedication. In regards to programming, summer is where we provide many special programs in the library, and the summer is no different. Besides the scavenger hunt, community members enjoy Miss Ken's Amazing Animals, Birdie Basics, a program on monarchs and milkweeds, craft programs, and much more. We have a lot to offer in July too, including a visit from Derek, a racehorse. Yes, a real horse on the library property. Come see Derek and hear about his story next Thursday at 1:30. In regards to our collection, the library will be getting A to Z databases this July. This database offers tremendous reference and marketing capabilities to our community. Besides helping business owners conduct prospecting, it can help people find jobs, find other people, and find businesses and executives around the country. The following passes have been added to our collection and are now available through the library. 3 passes to the Milwaukee Domes, a pass for Swiss Audubon, a pass for the Wisconsin Historical Society, which provides entry into 11 sites, a pass for the Children's Museum of Fond du Lac, which also gives entry into Above and Beyond located in Sheboygan, and a pass for the Horicon Aquatic Center. Lucas is putting cataloging information he gained from the ALA conference to immediate use as he is currently cataloging board games to add to our library of things. And finally, with a tip-off from Sue Smith, I was able to secure a traveling exhibit focusing on German heritage in Wisconsin. This exhibit will coincide with our special open house of our new building in November. And that is the library report. Thank you, Johnny.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Bear with me one moment. Date and time of the next library board meeting, Thursday, July 13th at 6 p.m. Next item, Public Works Committee, no report. Date and time of the next Public Works Committee will be Monday, July 24th, immediately following Personnel. Personnel Committee, and time, the next meeting will be Monday, July 24th, immediately following Public Safety Committee. Next item under Personnel Committee is discuss with possible action sitting term limits for mayor and alderperson positions.
Alderperson Newman had asked me to put this on the agenda.
Annie, I'm sorry, who'd you say had put on the agenda?
Alderperson Newman, he's just finishing some notes.
Right.
Oh,
No, I just-
gotcha. Okay.
I brought up to have a healthy conversation about limits, term limits and how they're handled and what we can do. I always like seeing new people become part of local government. You get upset about the same old people that sit in the commissions and committees and so on and so forth. So that's why I just brought it up, to bring it up to more of an awareness that we can talk about and have a conversation about. Not saying I'm not happy with anybody right now, but just at least have a conversation about it. And what we have now, and like our system now. I didn't do any homework about what we have now. I know it's almost unlimited.
My understanding is it is.
Right.
I have not come across any work.
So why, it's why I know the mayor says for 2 years, all the people said for 2 years.
I'm back.
Continues.
I am for term limits, and I guess I want to just inform the public listening. If you're interested in any of these positions, please let Annie know. Because turnover is good sometimes, new ideas, fresh blood. So on that note, I'll leave it at that.
So, Alderperson Newman, have you put any thought in terms of, number of years of service?
For sure, I would go at least 2 terms, as an older person, like 2 4 years, and make it a max of like a 4-year mayor.
Okay. I guess oh, go ahead.
The only problem we're having right now is getting people to step up to the plate. If you're interested, please reach out. Don't be afraid. We're all the same. So if you have the interest, let Annie know. And it's kept confidential, whatever you tell her. So reach out.
Well, okay. So a question is, this is discussed with possible action. Is there a specific motion that you wish to make tonight on this?
I do not.
Okay. I guess my thought would be this should go on a committee agenda and put some more details together and then bring it to the council fully baked after it's been, I guess, formulated and vetted.
So table it and put it on personnel.
Yeah, I would just send it to committee. I don't even know if we need to table it. Just send it to refer to committee.
I will do that.
Okay. So Annie, do you need a motion on that or are we good?
Motion to refer to committee, I'm assuming personnel.
Correct.
I would say yes, personnel.
We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. They'll go to committee. Thank you. Next item, Public Safety Committee, date and time of the next meeting will be Monday, July 24th, 6 p.m. Finance Committee, item number 1, May 2023 Budget Status Report. With Roger out, is there anybody else who wants to cover this?
Everybody prepared for this?
The pick list with your items, should we table it to next meeting?
Yeah. So basically, there's no report tonight. Is that correct? Okay. All right. No report on that. Finance Committee, item 2, review with possible action the current monthly cost for Sickich services. We did receive that invoice this past week for Sickich. It's in the packet.
I had mailed it out separately when it was available. It came in after the packet had went out.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments related to the Sickich invoice?
No, I do agree that it appeared to come in below. That's not to say that, it may change.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
And it may not be a bad idea, to keep them on, I guess. That would be our next item for discussion, but.
Yep, we can cover that in the next item. I do want to say, or just add to the group, so myself, along with Nicole DeBaker, we meet with the Sickich accounting team each Wednesday afternoon. I can tell you that what they've been focusing on is just kind of learning our practices and processes, and now they're kind of migrating to where they're shadowing Nicole as she goes through the reconciliation process, and then they're identifying ways that we can improve that process and make it more efficient. So they're helping us keep the lights on and keep the bills paid, but they're also helping us a process improvement ongoing as well. So, and I think what I would expect is each month we'll have a report like this at the council meeting, give you opportunity to ask questions of Sickich. More typically than not, we'll have Sickich attend via Zoom to these meetings, so you can ask questions of them as they go through the process. All right, so the next item number 3, discuss with possible action terminating or seeking further partnership with Sickich.
Mayor Gwynn, Alderperson Newman still
Do
had a
you
question.
have a copy of hard?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
You have a hard copy? of the invoice?
I did not, because I had emailed it out. I can pull it up in
I
my
was trying to pull it
email.
up on my phone, and there was like 3 lines on there.
It was not itemized, and it was simply for the comptroller treasurer.
Right, that's what I didn't get, and they're in the business for, tearing apart each little penny, and all we had was 3 lines from Sickich saying, A, B, and C, it's like $7,700. It is lower than.
It was just under 6,000. It was 5,008.
Well, that's okay, but it was talked about, it might go from $5,000 to $7,000. And I know that we had the point of using them as part-time, temporary. And then I asked the mayor back in June, what is this gonna cost us? And he said, we get a cost to you, but we never got the cost. We got the invoice now in July, it cost us $7,000 or close to that.
I think that was for the month of June.
Right, and it was also part of, the going back in and seeing where the money was, and
No, that's not that. We haven't received an invoice on any of that. That was purely the invoice you're looking at is the only invoice we've gotten from Sickich, and that's specifically for the comptroller treasurer support that they're providing.
okay.
Any other questions on that?
Does who authorizes that with their time? Each, so they get together, Sickich gets together each Wednesday, and I mean, so who holds the purse string of when we're gonna bring Sickich in and utilize them?
Well, what we do typically is we reach out to them and let them know or ask for assistance on a specific topic. So we're self-sustaining to the best of our ability, and Nicole DeBaker's doing a fantastic job. And we pull Sikich in as needed. So we're trying to be as self-sufficient as possible, but recognizing that they're the financial experts, and when we need to go into the weeds, they're who we call to get the assistance we need.
Anything else?
Any other questions? All right. The next item, item 3, discuss with possible action terminating or seeking further relationship / partnership with Sikich. I'm not sure who put this on the agenda.
Okay, are we in need? Is this investigation over with yet?
We are on the final chapter of the investigation, and that is just tying off the loose ends with the CDA funding. And we're just waiting for that to be done. There's nothing else that is to be reviewed. So in terms of the CDA, what that review is going to do is put us in a position to make certain that the organization is funded properly, and make sure that we are following the appropriate procedures as laid out by the Department of Revenue. And as soon as we have that report done, the results will be made available to the public and to the council.
So we have no idea where we're at in terms of invoicing.
We have not received an invoice, and frankly, I'm surprised by that, but we have not received an invoice from Sikich for the investigation services. Although, you know, going back to what Angie Rundy had shared with the group a couple of months ago, I mean, they generally speaking had not been spending a lot of time and effort and energy and frankly, taxpayers' dollars, because so much of the data was inaccessible or difficult to get to. So I think my initial impression is that when we received that invoice from Sikich, my hope is that we all feel a sense of relief that it wasn't as, you know, an astronomical expense as what it could have been. So let's stay tuned, right?
I'd like to make a motion here. I'd like to make a motion.
Oh, go ahead.
With the relationship and partnership with Sikich, that be a motion that we set a D&E do not exceed the $4,000 per month versus the scary bill that I look at it, because I just want to be responsible with our money. And I think that we hire in a way so that we don't need as much over site I've seen. I mean,
Well,
Fuller treasurer role, Nicole DeBaker really accounting experience of any employee in the city with that system. So I can't really speak on her behalf. Our new hire has taken off the payroll end of things, which was kind of an add-on, and it's not something Sikich would have helped with anyway.
actually, I'm gonna make a motion to put a D&E for Sikich, do not exceed 4,000 a month.
For the comptroller treasurer services?
Correct.
I don't think that the motion would be in order in that, based upon the council's guidance before we entered into the contract with Sikich, with the financial terms that we had laid out and agreed to, So I don't think we can change the terms of the contract after the fact.
Comptroller possibly. And, you know. Just and getting them.
Contract now, Mayor,
I'm sorry, it cut out. Say it again.
how long is the contract now?
I think it was 3 months, 6 months.
Had agreed to hire Sickich as the interim comptroller treasurer for 3 months.
Correct.
June.
I mean, I would suggest, Annie, are you waiting for me to say something? I didn't hear.
I had just explained that the resolution had said that the council agreed to hire Sickich as the interim comptroller treasurer for the 3-month term. That would have started in June, which puts us approximately halfway through.
Yep. Correct. All right. Is there a motion on the table that needs to be voted on?
Yeah, we had the motion.
Yep.
It was the, D&E, the $4,000 for comptroller treasurer services.
Was there a second to that motion?
Yes, and then we went to discussion.
Okay. So unless there's any further discussion, I think we can take the roll.
Alderperson,
Yes.
Alderperson Olson,
Aye.
Alderperson Schmidt,
No.
Alderperson Tillman,
Aye.
Alderperson Abbott. The motion carries. I believe you're on mute. There you go.
I just fixed it. Thank you. Next item. Well, date and time of the next finance committee meeting will be July 24th, immediately following Public Works. Parks Rec Tag Center Commission, no report. Date and time of the next meeting, Wednesday, August 2nd at 6 p.m. Planning Commission, item 1, resolution 5878, 2023. Approved survey and map for parcels 251, 1216, 2422-071 and 251, 1216, 2422, 069, North German Street and Washington Street.
Would you like me to read that resolution?
You got it.
Okay. So it says, whereas the Planning Commission met on June 12th, 2023, and did recommend approval of the attached certified survey map for the city of Mayville for a combination of parcel number 251-1216, 2422-071, and 251-1216, 2422-069 on North German Street and Washington Street. Whereas the Common Council of the City of Mayville met on July 10th, 2023, and approved the attached certified survey map for the aforementioned parcels. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Mayville does hereby approve the attached certified survey map for parcel number 251-1216, 2422-071, and 251-1216, 2422-069 on North German Street and Washington Street. And I do have the certified survey map here. One needs to review.
Whose property is that again?
Mr.
Bulldog?
No, Hilbert, thank you.
Comment? So planning commission came up, or is this?
Yeah, so this came up from planning, they hadn't heard it yet.
Oh, I'm,
Do you want to speak on it?
I think I needed to.
Our next item.
no, I don't. Approved by the,
So I can take a vote, or if anyone wants to motion to approve it, we can.
yeah, I would just make a motion to approve.
Yep, they are looking at the certified survey maps.
Relying on you on this. Okay. Or your department.
No, thank you. I'll second that.
It's moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Alderperson Tillman,
Aye.
Alderperson Newman,
Aye.
Alderperson Olson,
Aye.
Alderperson Schmidt, Alderperson Abbott.
All right,
Motion carries.
All right, next item for the planning commission, discuss with possible action recommendation to vacate northern portion of Leona Street right of way.
This is where Bill wanted to jump in.
Yes.
Can I do my comments after? We got Tori does it.
What would make
Wait.
more sense, I guess?
Because we were making an exception for citizens' comments. So I would have you come up and,
You want me to do it now?
yeah,
That's
do that, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, Bill Linsmeyer, we live at 1122 Valley Street. And our property, the north side of our property is attached to Leona, proposed Leona Street that's been there for some time. Also, I'm speaking on behalf of Dean and Heather Jeff, who live at 1125 Valley Street. Their property also borders part of the Leona Street, where the vacation of Leona Street is being discussed. I've been to a couple of the committee meetings, and this thing kind of went fast forward through those committees, and I think there's a lot of concerns and questions. I'm just a little guy, you got your engineer on the side of that project, you got Corey sitting here with all kinds of diagrams, and we're just the little people down there that are worried about how this is. So I'm gonna read you a statement. This is where we are at. With the city officials, we have talked to the proposed plans we have seen, and the concerns we have expressed on behalf of Bill and June Linsmeyer and Dean and Heather Jett, we vehemently oppose the vacation of the northern portion of Leona Street. In addition, we oppose the private driveway that's being proposed on the eastern end of Valley Street, which is public right of way. Those are some very critical issues. And I think you'll be showing a map. Take a hard look at that map and you'll figure out why we have such a concern. I think there's a lot more dialogue that needs to take place with this before it moves any further. But we're going to express our right to oppose it. And that's our position where it is now. Okay, yes.
You said your backside of your garage is, can you say that part over again? I didn't.
No, our yard borders Leona Street, the northern side of Leona Street, that they're talking about vacationing. In other words,
Okay,
eliminating the street.
I've never been back there, so I'm trying to get it in my head here.
I think that's a lot of the problem is that, even the planning commission, when we were there, they talked about it one month, next month they didn't even recall what they talked about, so there's definitely some fast tracking going on. And this thing needs to be, looked at a little more than it is. And our position is that we can oppose this, by law, and that's what our intent is. So I'm making that more of a record, for both our residences right now, to oppose it. Any more questions?
Okay,
Thank you very much.
So the thing that I want to add to this is I was going to reach out to Alderman Tillman. We'll go visit the site, take a look at it. I'd like to draw on your experience, Joe, and see if we can't formulate a solution to this issue that'll work for everybody involved, including the residents there that live adjacent to the property. So Mr. Lindenmeyer, I'll be following up with you likely next week, if that's okay with you.
That's fine, thank you. I was hoping that would happen.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. All right, the next item, no action to be taken tonight on the Leona Street. Next item, discuss with possible action recommendation from Planning Commission to provide sanitary and water services from road right away for Lekowitz property in the River Knoll Industrial Park. I can address this. So in 2021, the prior administration sold a lot to Thomas Lekowitz on 1 acre parcel up in the industrial park. Mr. Lekowitz was going to build a Morton building and operate a small business out of that Morton building. As an incentive on the sale, the city agreed to provide the connections at the street. We've gotten the quote from Town and Country, and it's $22,000. The issue we have, and first of all, this has already been approved. We have to proceed, and contractually, it's what the city had entered into. But I do want to caution the council going forward, anything we do within that River Knoll Industrial Park, we no longer have a kid up there. So any concessions we make would have to come out of the general fund. So I'm going to reach out to Ehlers and talk with them a little bit about potentially opening.
Your sound, is completely gone. Someone enabled closed captioning.
Okay. And we lost him.
Yeah, now you're gonna. He says, okay, I haven't.
There's COVID.
I know. Did you text him by any chance?
I did, he said, okay.
Yes, I didn't catch all of it about how far did it get in the discussion.
Not very far.
Into Leckwitz, he had said, the prior administration sold the lot to Leckwitz. There was an incentive on the sale with, sanitary and water. He feels we're tied to do this because of that contract. He is looking and he would
We didn't have-
encourage the council to look into reopening a TID in that area for incentives.
I believe that was gonna be part of the discussion going forward, but for now, before the council.
Yeah, we need to address this one.
For Lekowitz, because he is looking to start,
Right,
so.
and looks like he
And
is
the deal is the deal.
rejoining.
Like I said, take money where you want it.
Yeah, we can't renege on it.
All right, he is back.
All right, sorry, technical problems. All right, so at what point did I drop? I was talking about funding, these incentives.
Possibly contacting Ayler's, discussion about reopening a TID. You're cut out again.
Okay, so I'll fill in while he's getting back in. The way I understood it was when we reopened the southern TID, that building, they go on to the lease. Because it's too late. We already took care of the last TID.
All right, Annie.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the TID if we can retroactively
Yeah,
add anything.
I mean, from what I heard from Ellers, it's kind of a, if the deal wouldn't, there is some possibility of doing it after the fact, but you've got to walk a fine line there. So, I'll be able to get more details, and in that process of reopening or opening a TID is going to take a number of months. So in the meantime, we've already agreed to this concession. That concession was agreed to prior to me becoming mayor. We've entered into a contract. This is just a formal approval process from the Common Council to engage Town and Country to commence the work that we agreed to have done for Thomas Lekowitz.
The only thing I would add is, as part of the previous discussion, it was going to be taking out sewer water department. General fund. But it wasn't budgeted for.
It was not budgeted.
So anybody care to make a motion?
Is the motion to take it out of the general funding? Is that what we're looking for? And if not, anybody else want to pipe in?
So I think ultimately what they need is approval to proceed with these services, and I think they do need approval for it to come off the general fund. Mayor Gwynn, you're not moving, but I think we can hear you. Is what we need an approval to move forward with these services and that it come out of the general fund?
You need to recall, was that around 10,000? You remember that amount again?
It's on the, it should be in your packet. It's like almost 22,000.
22. All right, I'll tell you what, let's get the ball rolling. I will make a motion to, stick to our agreement. So I can get going with this and take the money out of the general fund.
Second that.
Any
Okay.
further discussion? I can take the roll. Alderperson Olson,
Aye.
Alderperson Newman,
Aye.
Alderperson Schmidt,
Aye.
Alderperson Tillman.
Aye.
Alderperson Abbott.
All right,
Motion carries. Approved.
All right, thank you. Date and time of the next planning commission meeting will be Monday, August 14th, 5 p.m. Next item, Community Development Authority, Resolution 5879, 2023. Appointment,
John, the planning commission they agreed today to change, so it wouldn't show on the agenda. Planning commission is now going to meet the
third Tuesday.
month at 5 p.m. So it will be Tuesday, August 15th at 5 p.m.
There you go, Tuesday, August 15th. Thank you. Community Development Authority, Resolution 59, 2023, appointment of Leangela Sherry Davis to Community Development Authority Committee. Do you want to read the resolution, Annie?
Sure. Whereas there are currently 3 citizen vacancies on the Community Development Authority, one with the term ending July 31st, 2023, one with the term ending July 31st, 2024, and the final with the term ending July 31st, 2026. And whereas in accordance with Resolution 198-1990, the mayor shall appoint subject to confirmation of the council. And therefore, the mayor hereby appoints Leangela Sherry Davis to complete the current term ending July 31st, 2026. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Mayville does hereby approve the above-mentioned mayoral appointment to the Community Development Authority Committee.
Sherry's asked and approves, she goes along with this, Sherry's okay with this?
She submitted the application.
Okay, cool. Right,
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion?
I got some further discussion really quick. Like we said earlier, I brought up term limits. We're currently, Mayor Gwynn, are we too short now of the CDA
This
for
will
the
leave us
appointment of
to,
Sherry? Two down?
yes.
Yeah, so it's so important if you see Mayor Gwynn running around or one of your older people, you want to get involved, want to come and talk to Anastasia, we'd be happy to have you on these committees and engage in your community. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Annie, please take the roll on that Sherry Davis appointment.
Tillman.
Aye.
Alderperson. Alderperson Newman.
Aye.
Alderperson Olson.
I,
Motion carries.
All right, perfect, thank you. Date and time of the next CDA meeting will be Wednesday, July 26th, 6 p.m. The Communications Committee will be meeting, the next meeting will be Monday, July 17th at 4 p.m. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor say, oh, did you get a second?
Yes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.